Welcome to the show with the Eternal Sith. Every visit banger, best believe he don't miss. Do me a favor, drop a sub and keep tuning in. If you like what you see, go and share with your friends.
What's good, everybody? It's been a minute. Haven't been on a live stream. Me starting it off and opening it. It's been such a long time. How is everybody? I wait for everybody to come in the room. It is good to see y'all. I definitely have missed y'all. I haven't, like I said, been on. Then the last live stream I think I did was it was actually I think last Sunday or this past Sunday. I can't even remember. I've been like so out of it. Chris Schober, what's going on? What's going on? What's up? What's up? What's up? What is going on over here from the East Coast? Where's the best coast? East Coast, the best coast. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, Star Wars, which we're gonna get into in just a little bit. But how are y'all doing this evening? Like I said, so much to get into. My co-host will join in a little bit, which is Darth Hater. If you see me raising my hand and you see I got like this little, I guess, wrist guard, I ended up injuring myself. For a lot of you who don't know, I do play baseball, so I ended up throwing a curveball and I literally heard like a snap, and that was it for me. So like, yeah, now I'm on the DL. I'm injured. Who knows when I'm gonna play again? Probably sometime later. Well, I have time to recuperate, so it's not so bad. But yeah, like I said, so today we're gonna be talking about. I'll let you guys know. We'll talk about some Bad Batch stuff. We're gonna talk about the Acolyte. Guess what happened today with me this week? Last 2 days, I got COVID. Dude, that is crazy. So, fun fact, I actually got COVID over the Christmas break, and it was the worst. My New Year's was all right. It wasn't so bad, but I ended up having COVID during that whole time. I think New Year's Eve, I was already like, I was kind of done with COVID. Like, yeah. So I feel you, man. I'm so sorry you're going through that. I hope you feel better. I would say probably rest is the best medicine. Just rest and staying home because, man, I don't know. I had like crazy sinus pressure and it just did not go away. And the stuffy nose, yes, I'm still recovering. Honestly, I'm actually still sick, which sucks. Rebel, what's going on? What's going on? I'm excited for the Bad Batch, but I'm not going to give a chance to the Acolyte or Skeleton Crew. In my opinion, those two shows are bull. All right, I could understand why you feel like that, my guy. I definitely understand it. I mean, again, a lot of the shows haven't really hit, and the numbers have proved that. We've talked about it here on the channel. For you guys who watch my content, y'all know. I mean, we've proven those numbers. They've been low. And, I think the only reason why I'll tell you, and I'll be honest with you, we're going to talk about everything today, but I'll just give you like a quick little thing. I'm excited for the Acolyte because it is the first time we're getting a Sith-based show. And I'm curious to see how they're going to execute it, how it's going to be delivered, how it's going to drop and land. So, again, we will see what happens when it comes to that. But I do want to introduce and welcome my other co-host who is a part of the stream. He's wearing his black shades, none other than Darth Hater. What's going on, bro? Look at you. Oh, man, that's so funny. No, but yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, I have high hope. I feel like I have high hope, and for that show at least, I can't promise you the Skeleton Crew, but I do want to say this before we do start, guys. Please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so we get not just the video trending, we get the channel trending as well. So make sure to join that. I do have a membership program. Make sure to join and check out those memberships because they are crucial to the channel as you guys get the behind the scenes footage and you get to go live with me on one of the memberships. How dope would that be? And we could talk Star Wars. Are you back? You're back. You're live. He's live. We're live. He's here. We made it. He made it. What's popping, bro? How you doing?
Everything. I've been living, man, like recouping from New Year's just like everybody else.
Bro.
You know how it goes.
I know. And we haven't done Talking since for a minute. I think since the last time we did it was like the Ahsoka series, right?
Yeah. That was the last time. We're like, all right, let's break for the holidays.
Yeah, we needed it too. Like we've been like for those of you who follow me and then Darth Hater, we have a lot going on. Like I'm putting out content every day. He's putting out content. He's also a cosplayer. as y'all know who he is. Name speaks for itself. But overall, we just been busy. You know, like it's been hard. I mean, we've been trying to do it. We've been trying to find that balance, I would say, but it's just been mad hard because, like, again, East Coast.
And honestly, like we, you guys know we always do this for the TV shows and like say like if a movie actually ever came out, but for sure the TV shows. But it's a grind when like living life and then on top of like trying to stream like every week and everything. You guys trust me when I tell you guys this is like hard work.
It is, and that's why we appreciate you guys we appreciate y'all for chiming in. Like Chris Schober came in over here, chatting it up. Intelligence, chatting it up. We appreciate y'all. The chat started because again, without y'all, we don't go that far. So, I doubt they will make a Star Wars Acolyte season 2 because I have a bad feeling that the first season will fail badly. Y'all already starting in the chats coming in hot with the Acolyte. Yo, hold on. Wait. Before we get into the
violence.
listen, y'all. Before y'all get into the Acolyte, can we first start with the Bad Batch? Hold on. Wait. Hold on. I want to start with the Bad Batch first. All right. Hold on. If I can get it up. Let me pull it up. All right. Well, I'm gonna just start it. What did y'all think of the Bad Batch trailer? I'll ask you, Darth Hater. What did you think of the Bad Batch trailer? What was I mean, I know what really caught your attention, but we're gonna dive into it. What really most excited you for the Bad Batch season 3 trailer, which is the final trailer for the Bad Batch, the final season? What did you guys in the comment section think? And Darth Hater, what did you think?
I liked it. Like, I think on the same standpoint as you, like where we weren't really into the show at first, and then it slowly kind of grew on us, like as like it just kept going on, or after we rewatched it again, So right now, I'm finally like really invested in these characters. Like, and I really want to see what happens with like Omega and Tech since they kind of set up there in like some dark places right now. Or not Tech, across there I should say, because Tech is gone. But on top of that, Palpatine. Palpatine was the one thing that really, hit me with this because I'm like, if they're showing him that early in the trailer and like actually walking with his royal guards to Mount Tantus and everything, like like there's going to be a lot of stuff going down.
He's going to start the cloning process already for himself, probably. Probably started. We know because of the comics and the books. Like we know that started years ago. So I'm happy that they're going into it. Oh, here we go. Now don't say that. Tech is alive. Listen, we're gonna get into that. We're going. Y'all are like 10 steps ahead of us, and I'm loving it. I'm loving the chat right now. Like the chat is going ham right now. Look at this. I also forgot to include. We're gonna get into Mando season 4 in the movie. We're gonna get into that. All right.
Baby steps. Yeah.
Baby steps, guys. Baby steps. But now we hear you. Don't say that. Tech is alive. Look. I think for season three of the Bad Batch, like Darth Hater said, we both went into the first season. If y'all remember, I mean, we used to have a bigger panel, but like overall, it didn't hit. Season 2, I thought for me, I mean, me personally, I don't remember your thoughts on it, but it hit because I saw an Omega that was more vulnerable. She was an older Omega that was more in tune with the characters, and it just built a deeper connection with each and one of them. All of them apart from
season 1 was establishing. Season 2 was like, all right, they're already in the round. Let's see their day to day.
Right, and like you got to see Tech and Echo really build that relationship more with Omega because we saw Hunter and Wrecker season 1, so it was different. It was different. For sure.
Yeah. Like season 1, like I said, they're introducing everybody how they met and like well, I mean, they already met before that, but just that current team. And then season 2 was kind of like their day to day. They're already on the run from the Empire. Like, what does that look like? And them doing all these jobs, and you got invested, even though you may not like the story, you still were invested in the characters. And now season 3 is kind of just like, all right, like how do we wrap this up? And I know people's opinions when it comes to like Lucasfilm, like setting up other story plots and other stories in every show. Like, sometimes not every show has the final like cut, like it doesn't have to do with anything else, but I want to see how these characters like end their journey if they do, and then how this sets up for the cloning process that we see the seeds of in the Mandalorian, and then we eventually see in Rise of Skywalker. You know, this
Yeah.
all is all interconnected for a reason. And then, yeah.
Yeah, listen, bro, I'm with you. I mean, I like that we got to see Nalase's coming back. We got to see, we got to see. I'm happy they're bringing back Fennec, Cad Bane, because we saw them season 1, so I'm happy about that one. I think Fennec was in season 2 in the beginning, was she?
Yeah,
I don't
Fennec was
remember.
in season 2, and
Right.
then I can't remember. She was either I think she was hunting for them too. That because Cad Bane and Fennec weren't working together, but they had a bounty on their heads, like the clones. So like everybody was looking for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Toker 33 says true. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that with them incorporating all these characters, in season 3 is definitely gonna hit. So like, I know people are gonna be like, oh, these are like, they're trying to, like a super team and everything like that, and add everybody. But it's like it makes sense. This is like the Clone Wars, the continuation of Clone Wars. So you're gonna have all these characters. I'm happy about it. Listen, I don't mind having a couple bounty hunters. My biggest question is, I wonder if we'll ever see, or if we will see. You think we'll see Boba Fett, like a younger, like I'm waiting for that.
So I'm gonna be real, since you just asked that. My biggest predictions of character drop that they're gonna have in here is either Boba Fett or Vader. I mean, Boba Fett for obvious reasons, like Omega's technically a sister, and then Vader because like seeing Palpatine in this in the flesh is like kind of usually a precursor to like we're gonna see dude pop up sometime.
I mean, yeah, and it's like, you saw the Imperial shuttle and everything like that. Like, I was just more like, when I look at that scene, I feel like we're gonna see Vader. Like, and this would be a dope time to see Vader because we've never seen him. I mean, like in animation, at least, like during this time. Like, this is a couple years out. I'm assuming, right? Like 3 to 5 years out of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. I mean, and technically we get it in season 7 of the Clone Wars, but we don't know exactly when that is because, like, there's actually no, it's a little later than this because that's actual normal stormtroopers and normal snowtroopers because they're still on to the weird phase 1 of stormtroopers in this, where they're not quite what we know.
Right. Well, I do want to hit. We'll save the one character that is like the biggest one. Yeah. We'll save it for the end of like the Bad Batch conversation. But I saw this comment here, and I want to respond to it. So Rebel says, "Guys, stop saying Tech is alive. That is, are you guys dumb and stupid?" Look, I don't disagree with you. Not even disagree. Do I want him to be gone? I do, because I think this is a point that we need to have the characters start dying off because we can't have too many characters surviving. It's just it becomes annoying.
Well, but that in every Star Wars character that's fallen from like a great height doesn't really mean that they died.
I know, but it's just like, let his death mean something. That's more what it just, his death has meaning. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if we keep him, if he survives, it's like, are they even gonna knock off the Bad Batch? Like, are they gonna knock off Clone Force 99?
I mean, yeah, it's a weird way to be like, oh, he survived, and then they end up taking out the whole team in the season at the end anyway. But like I said, like they do this all the time in Star Wars. Like how many characters have fallen and supposedly they're dead, but then we see them pop up like again in the second season. Like, come on, you get Maul, you get Palpatine falls. Like, every somehow Tech has survived.
Who?
I said somehow Tech has survived. Like Poe Dameron is like somehow Palpatine survived.
Yeah, they can't do that. And I'm gonna say why they shouldn't do that. And I'm gonna get into. I just want to read the comments here. Look, I love the Bad Batch because of the Clone Wars lore, and vibes, but I kind of don't like how they are trying to connect it to the sequels. We're still far out, but I could understand where I think the Mandalorian would have more connection to the sequels. The Bad Batch, not so much. I mean, the Mount Tannis thing connects more to it. Explains. I think it'll explain the Palpatine situation because then it'll connect to Thrawn, which was something that was done in the Timothy Zahn novelization of Mount Tannis and everything. So that I think they are going to connect. I want to just. Oh, what's going on, dude? Enjoy MegaCon, bro. Horns up, horns up. Enjoy MegaCon. Never been, but I heard it's a big deal. So have fun.
Okay.
The Eternal Sith. I want to respond to this. Anthony, YouTube fan. What's going on, dude? I appreciate you, bro. Always commenting, checking out the content. I appreciate you, my guy. I want to respond to your thing. Tech is dead, but but Dr. Helmlock retrieved his body and has turned it into the prototype Death Troopers project. What do you think about that, Darth Vader? That's an interesting one.
I mean, that is a possibility, but like I said, just because we didn't see any body, the only thing we saw was some smashed his goggles, like broken goggles. So that's a possibility,
right?
But I don't know. Well, we'll see what's gonna happen. Like I said, I'm in the firm standpoint as in I want him dead because it would just mean so much more, for the character. But who knows at this point?
Yeah, I just think it adds just more to the story. I mean, look, one of the things that I was telling you off of this, and I'll tell you guys too, you guys will get the first dibs, right? I think personally, if he did survive and he's working with the Empire, let's just say he's kind of like, I think he's gonna end up being like Hunter at first, where like he'll kind of work with the Empire, but maybe like behind the scenes he's trying to also save Omega. There's a bigger game plan to save Omega because Hunter said it's been a long time since they've seen Omega. So something's going on the inside, I believe. We've seen it. It's Star Wars' MO. There's always somebody on the end that knows something that's helping out. So it could just be that Tech knows something and maybe they don't even know that he's alive still. You know what I'm saying? So there's so many possibilities that can happen. Look, do we want him alive? Is that what we're saying? No. But again, Star Wars has turned things around and brought and revived characters back. So, and especially this character right here, who I'm about to show. And yes, we are going to get into it. Asajj Ventress. She's back. She's back because she's back
from the dead, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. And they're talking about retcon, right? So, in a sense, they are retconning it. They're saying it's going to go towards the book. It is, but they're also adding the comic version to it. So there is a comic version that Asajj Ventress, and Darth Vader, you could chime in after. So there is a version where where Kenobi goes and finds her body and she's dead, but then she kind of like ends up stealing like their shuttle and she goes and she just goes into hiding. So she basically like faked her death. So this could very well be that they're going that route, but maybe when Quinlan Vos was holding her body, he ended up bouncing and faked her death, and she's been in hiding, and now she ends up coming back. What are your thoughts, Darth Vader?
I don't know. Honestly, like, that's a good theory, but at the same time, like, they changed how Kanan lived through Order 66 at the beginning of this. They changed the planet. They changed... I mean, aside the fact that he saw his master get gunned down in front of him, they changed all of that. Like, it's nothing like the comic book at all. So I think that what they might do is keep aspects of Dark Disciple, like with the Quinlan Vos thing. So that's why I said, even when I first talked about it, like I was thinking Quinlan Vos, because how could you not introduce him without her? They also kind of name dropped him like in Kenobi, so I'm like, maybe that was a precursor for this. But this is years after the Clone Wars. Count Dooku's dead. They might keep some story elements, as in Quinlan Vos and then her falling in love and her dying or whatever. But as far as everything else, they're just going to do away with it. They're just going to change everything, change the whole narrative like they did before. Like they always do this. Like the movies and TV shows are obviously top priority. Then the books and the comics, the books and then the comics are kind of last when it comes down there. So they like to pick and choose from all those, but then they change it because they're always changing. What happens to these characters. We have Dark Disciple. They just did it. They're doing it with what else? The Ahsoka book. What else did they change? I was just saying this thing about Kanan. Like they keep doing that all the time.
I mean, yeah, bro. So much has changed. I mean, I think I've lost count, lost track. I don't know what Star Wars. I think there's just so much that they just keep changing the narrative, and it adds, but and I understand because this is a character that is well liked, and again, her story didn't really finish in the Clone Wars. So I mean, in reality, is like her story could have continued. I think the problem is that because Dark Disciple came out before Disney owned it, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, it wasn't that long ago. Dark Disciple came out like a few years ago. This is recent.
Okay,
I'm just saying this is Disney canon. So it's like
okay.
So
So even worse, because what ends up happening is that this is the problem that this is how the sequels happened. Okay, the thing is that they shoot themselves in the foot because they kind of do things prematurely, and then it's like they go back on it, and now they have to retell that story and explain why a book is now decanonized or retconned. And it's like, it shouldn't be like that, because if you're going to do something, have a game plan. And this is what I mean. This is what happened with the sequels. They had no game plan. They went into it just trying to get money back to replace the money that they spent on paying George Lucas, his money. And, again, like, this is where we're at now. So now it's like, I mean, the good thing is that not everybody reads the books, because it's a fact. Not everybody does. So in reality, does this add a problem? I mean, to the diehard Star Wars fan that reads every single book and every single comic, yes. But to a regular generic Star Wars fan, doesn't really do anything, because it's like, all right, I saw her in the Clone Wars. She was still alive when it ended, so I'm assuming she's still alive. I don't know anything about Dark Disciple, so in reality, it doesn't really hurt her character or her storyline.
It doesn't, but like I said, when you preach that all this canon is going to make sense, it's going to be intertwined, and it's going to be all cohesive, don't say that and then go back on these stories that you make that's like supposed to be really important.
Yeah,
and then decanonize them and change them up because they need to fit a new narrative.
Yeah, I mean, you're not lying, dude. You're not lying. I want to read Anthony, YouTube fan. My hope before season 3 is over, I want to see the beginning of the Inquisitorius, with you there, the Imperial Sovereign Protectors, the Empire's Shadow Guard, and the Prophets of the Dark Side. That would be really cool to see that. I'm hoping that they do that. I don't know if they'll go deep into that, but it's a possibility. The Eternal Sith, my guess is Luke. I'm sorry, Darth Vader, what?
I was going to say the Inquisitors have been a go since, the beginning.
Technically, yeah, they would. I mean, the comics that are canon, they have literally Vader fighting all the Inquisitors, and Palpatine comes in and says, "Y'all gotta chill." Like, Vader started taking them one by one, and actually, he was going really ham on the Grand Inquisitor. That
fight was like cool. Almost as soon after he became Vader. Like, it's like, oh yeah, here I have these Inquisitors that you need to like whip in the shit.
Yeah. My guess is Lucas and Filoni already mapped out Ventress's fate, and now we're seeing the fruits of their labor. Agreed. Disney and Kathy Kennedy to thank for these inconsistencies. Agreed. They could have let Lucas and Filoni's material continue, but they decided to sell their own Disney material. Then, the sequel trilogy. Before I get into Chris Sharber, I mean, I think overall, there's pros and cons to the things that they've done. I think for Asajj Ventress, I'm okay with. I like her character. Do I think that this is what I'll tell you this. This is my thing, Darth Hater, and to everybody in the comment section who's lighting it up right now, y'all are amazing. I want to say this. I personally would love to see, because we can't have too many, everybody's surviving, right? Okay, fine, she survived. There are Jedi during this time that did survive that are in hiding. We know that. This is the time that everybody was. So this is like the first 10 years. Cool. So if we saw Palpatine, right, and everything, I'm hoping that we, as you mentioned, Darth Vader, we end up seeing Vader and Asajj Ventress and Vader go down. This is her death. That's a possibility. If that happens, I would like to see that. Or maybe she goes against the Inquisitors. That's a possibility too. Thinking about that.
Yeah, you're right. Like I was telling you before, like, we're not gonna technically we probably may never ever see Vader versus Maul. Kind of see him fighting the Inquisitors and Rebels. And with Ventress, it's just like, all right, well, if you're gonna bring her back, give her a really good death. Like, make it like, whoa, I was not expecting that, and now I'm not mad that you changed what happened in the books.
I mean, the only thing is she wouldn't know it's Anakin, but like obviously Anakin would know who that. I mean, Vader would know who that is.
Remind me, like, how does she die exactly in the comic? It's Count Dooku who kills her, right?
You mean in Dark Disciple or the comics?
Yeah. I'm sorry, in Dark Disciple, like
Count Dooku, yeah. So Count Dooku, like during Order 66 and everything like that, or before, ends up killing her, and she dies in the arms of Quinlan Voss.
Yeah,
so,
do that and replace Dooku with Vader, like that, or Inquisitors.
I mean, yeah, I'm with that.
Which at the same time, you know, I'd give her like a nudge over the Inquisitors.
Yeah,
because she's been at this dark side stuff like since before them. Like it's kind of like a Pokefuck of Inquisitors. It's like they were nothing now.
Right. Were you talking about Sash Ventress?
Well, I'm saying, you know, technically, like, I'd rather it be Vader officer than Inquisitors, because like Inquisitors are just, you know, they're nothing compared to her. Or like,
oh no,
yeah,
hands down. Did you notice in the shot? Hold on, let me just read this really quickly, and I'll talk about who do you think the main Star Wars villain will be. We'll talk about that one at the end. We'll talk about that. But isn't the Star Wars all right? So we'll talk Acolyte stuff. We will talk about at the end or after this.
Yeah.
So I just want to we'll get off the Bad Batch thing in a little bit, and then we'll get into that. There were separate Clone Wars arcs that got nixed upon Disney's purchase of the company and the IP. The company realized that the sequel trilogy and Solo they screwed up, so they backtracked. Yeah, that's
a lot that they had on the cutting floor. There were so many arcs.
Dude, there's so much that they have dug themselves in a hole, and that's what we were talking. And that's what I talked to you off of this, and you know we've talked about it, and I know I've said it in like videos or other live streams that like that's the problem with Disney owning Lucasfilm is that they have to retract back because they spent the money to purchase Lucasfilm. They wanted to put a story out quickly to get that money back, but they didn't think of the long game. That's what you saw when like The Mandalorian came out. They had all these plans to have a long game the way Marvel did, but the problem is that it kind of haven't lived up to that. The only show that's really lived up to it has been The Mandalorian for them. But yeah. Talking about Asajj Ventress though, do you see she still has the same lightsaber hilt, it seems like, from the Clone Wars? I thought that was interesting. I don't know if you noticed that. I thought they were gonna end up changing it.
I don't know, and honestly, like I haven't watched those arcs of the Clone Wars in a really long time. I thought she lost them, and
that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
That's why I was confused. I mean, I could understand the yellow blade. That's cool. I have no problem. But the whole thing with the hilt, that really confused me. The hilt problem. So I'm a little confused and concerned about that. I mean, what are your thoughts? If you could add more. Oh no, I think you froze.
I haven't really like looked at it. Like what?
Oh no, you're good. Go.
I said I haven't really looked at it like too much, but I don't know. We'll see, because like they have like they had that one at Galaxy's Edge, supposedly she has.
That's what I thought,
or whatever.
That's what I thought it was.
Yes, I don't know, and it's been a while since I've read that book, so I don't know what they were doing until like we actually see it. Then I'll be, you know,
we're just
better of a judge. But
we're retconning at will at that point, literally.
Right.
Tim's talks. What's going on, bro? Somehow Palpatine is back. I mean, Asajj Ventress.
Exactly.
Horns up. The Acolyte is taking place. We'll get into the High Republic in a little bit. But overall, yeah, I mean, look, I'm excited for season 3 of the Bad Batch. I think that there's a lot in store. I think that, you know, the final one is gonna hit. I'm hoping they explain what's gonna happen to Clone Force 99. I'm hoping they go into Omega and her future and what that's gonna look like. I'm hoping we get to see some Boba Fett, some Vader. We know we're getting more Palpatine, obviously. Ian McDermott is gonna do the voice still, so I'm happy about that. That is a cool one. Overall, that's my thoughts on it. I mean, I'm gonna make content on it still. I have some things that I want to talk about. What are your final thoughts on the Bad Batch? We could close this one out, Darth Vader.
Like I said, I'm not super like overhyped for it, but I'm just like, all right, let's see how they end this. Like, I want to see how they wrap all this up, honestly.
Right. Okay, I'm with you there. I'm totally with you there. You know, Dude, all right, so let's talk about the next thing. Let's get into the Mandalorian, dude. Let's get into Mando season 3,
Yeah.
I mean season 4, and the movie overall, because again, we haven't really done this in a while, so we have to talk about everything that's happened. So obviously, you know the big news. You know the big news. I don't have to tell it to you. You know what's going on. We had the movie ended up getting dropped.
Mandalorian,
What are your thoughts on
Mandalorian and Grogu, the movie.
what are your thoughts on the movie? What are your thoughts on season 4? You guys light it up in the comment section. What are y'all thoughts as well on season 4 of The Mandalorian, or just overall the movie? How do you feel about the movie, bro? That the fact that this is coming out.
I honestly thought I thought we were gonna get season 4. I mean, we are, but I didn't know they'd throw a movie at us. I thought we were gonna get the Filoni-verse team up, which they've been talking about forever. But now it's like we're gonna get that movie, we're getting this movie, and then we're getting season 4. So it's like more Mando content. Like I'm happy they're doing this, obviously, but I don't know. It kind of feels to me like a bad or a good thing. It's like it either okay, yeah, hell yeah, we're getting a movie, but also my shows like that. I know things aren't looking too great. Maybe they're like, we got to get a movie out
Right.
pretty quickly, and like, what other movie will people want to see is Mando?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, my gripe with the movie thing, and again, like this is been out for a while now, so I mean, but again, we haven't done this. My thing is this: I don't mind a movie, but like y'all have been preaching about the Daisy Ridley movie, and then y'all put that to the back burner and say this is what's gonna be the next project. That is what blows my mind, because then you know what happens is that now everybody's like, oh man, oh no, the new Jedi Order movie that Rey's doing, that Daisy Ridley's doing, is gonna have problems to script. Like we've seen, there's been so much. I mean, I've even talked about it. There's been so much like negative controversy on it. I mean, already the sequels, but that movie specifically, you have to have an idea. The moment that you make the sequels or that Daisy Ridley movie sound bad, or that it's gonna get pushed back, it draws controversy, and that's the problem I'm not understanding with Lucasfilm or just Disney. Like, why are you guys doing that to that movie? Like, if y'all wanted to succeed and you guys are really pushing that agenda with Daisy Ridley being the forefront of Star Wars for the future, that's fine, whatever. Like, y'all want to do that, that's your MO, go for it. But y'all can't be doing this where y'all putting Mando now at the forefront, and then putting the Daisy Ridley movie behind. I don't know. That I get it, and there could be logic.
Well, yeah,
Listen,
because it's like if Mando and everybody was so important before the sequel trilogy, like put him in a sequel trilogy.
well, this is my thing, Darth Hater. This is what I'm thinking. You guys in the comment section could chime in, and you too, Darth Hater. What I'm thinking is that I've talked about it on other live streams. I talked about it here on my live stream a week or two. I don't know. It's been a minute. I don't know. But I said this. This is what I'm thinking, is that the reason why they're making the Mandalorian movie a thing before Daisy Ridley's is because they ended up messing up. They have Grogu, who's alive during this time. Forget about Mando. Forget about Din. You have Grogu, who's alive. You have Ezra, Sabine, Ahsoka. Maybe what they're trying to do, is they're trying to explain in the Mandalorian movie how these characters survive, or if they're still alive. Because again, in the sequel trilogy, we heard nothing about Thrawn. We heard nothing about Ahsoka. We heard nothing about, and Thrawn is a big character right before the sequel trilogy. You hear nothing of his reference, nothing of the New Republic, nothing of any of that stuff. So how could you not hear anything about this? So I think what they're trying to do is that when Rey's movie comes out, Daisy Ridley's Rey movie comes out, you're gonna have ties, and you're gonna hear mentions of like Mandalore, Din, Grogu, because Grogu will be older at this point. Maybe Ezra survived. Maybe Sabine survived. Maybe Ahsoka freaking survived. Because now, if you think about it, I was actually talking to Power of the Force, and it's like I feel like Lucasfilm has knocked themselves, because they've knocked out all of the original and prequel trilogy characters, and we have nothing now. Like, y'all knocked off Mark Hamill. Like, he's nothing now. Like, it's sad, and it's like, yeah, you could use him for content like that's now, like during like the Mandalorian, but it's like is that a route we should really be? I feel like that's a story that does not need to be told anymore. It's an oversaturation. It's cool that he chimed in season 2 of the finale of The Mandalorian, but I think they need to let that go. And like now they need to like, I think they're gonna end up using like those Star Wars Rebels characters in this. To be honest with you, in Rey's movie, and I think that's why that movie got pushed back.
It's gonna be. I mean, we know they're alive. We see the ghosts in Rise of Skywalker, so it makes sense for them to bring them in there. But yeah, you're right. I'm with that on you with you, where it's just like even with this new stuff that they're doing, it's basically an heir to the Empire. You know, it's being told with Star Wars Rebels characters instead of the original trilogy characters, like it should be. And it's like I get it, but at the same time, like don't pretend like these huge characters who everybody really loves don't exist at all in this time. Like we see snippets of them, but you know, at this point, it's like you have to get de-aged. You have to de-age them, or like have like digital doubles, and it's a little like too little, too late. But it's like kind of what you have to do,
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm, dude. Like when I hear about this, like that's why, like, it wasn't surprising when I heard Daisy really the movie, like that New Jedi Order got pushed back, because I'm like, y'all have to explain Ahsoka's death. Like that's like, or if she's still alive. Like, 'cause then everybody's like, oh, well, Rise of Skywalker. You hear she's one of the voices there. Yeah, that's Ashley Eckstein. Like that's her voice. You don't hear Rosario. We don't know what happened to her. Like we don't know what the deal is with that. So like,
on top of the fact that they're still changing the movies on Disney Plus. Like I was going to talk about it in another video, but this is why I'm kind of happy that I kept the physical media that I have, because they don't tell you, but like they're suddenly like changing the Star Wars movies on Disney Plus when it comes to like the color, certain things of dialogue, adding or subtracting things.
yeah.
And like they could do that with like Rise of Skywalker and be like, oh well, she didn't do that. It's just like they had that era. They had the era in Mando where like you see the crew dude that like in the background of like one full shot, like a whole dude just back there with a jeans and t-shirt, and then a week later it was gone. They digitally just changed it, and they're doing that with the movies too. So that's why I'm like, you know, they could just say, oh, we'll change the movie too now because you know she's still alive.
You're talking about Ahsoka, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like,
yeah,
oh, we didn't hear her in Rise of Skywalker. We took her out because she's alive now.
It's like, listen, anything is possible. If they took, I mean, look, they took out the original, like the original Anakin Skywalker, but Hayden Christensen's version. Like, things are always changing. It's always changing in the Star Wars, you know, like in the timeline, things are changing in.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like that's the other thing we have to keep in mind too. Like, we don't know. Look, listen, there is a trifecta effect. Like, there is a domino effect. We have the world between worlds. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we still don't have an understanding of how that works when you pull somebody out of a timeline. That's what happened with Ahsoka. We don't know the repercussions if that created an alternate universe. Like it's like Doctor Strange in the the multiverse, and overall in Marvel, like you pull something out, it could change the course of history. That's what we still have yet to understand. And I feel like that's the part that we're not maybe getting yet, or maybe we are. Who knows? But that's how I see it. I think that I've always said this. I think Ezra Tate pulling Ahsoka out from her death against Vader created a new domino effect. You understand? Like it created something totally different that now it's like Daisy Ridley's Rey movie could be different. You know, like for all we know, this is one that's out of the ballpark. But, could you imagine like Mark Hamill, his Luke Skywalker still alive? Like, that's what I mean. Like things could be, I don't know how far they're going to stretch this. I don't know. This is just a what if. And that's why, like, I know they're talking about doing a Star Wars what if. Like, there's just so many ways that they can go about this, I think. And they kind of have that blessing with the world between worlds. So we'll see what happens. But
everybody has to have a multiverse.
Listen, it's a possibility, bro. Anything's possible. What's going on, Niño Grogu? ¿Cómo está? Horns up. What are your thoughts on CGI version of Luke Skywalker appearing in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, or in the Mandalorian season 4? You can start
if it suits the story, if it suits the story, like it makes sense. yes, do
Right.
it. But obviously, how they did it in Mando versus Book of Boba. Mando, like, was the first time they were doing it. Book of Boba, that's like kind of like they
I
perfected
want
it a
that.
little bit more. But like I
Yeah, I
said,
want that.
just no super overuse, and if it suits the story, like instead of him, and if it makes sense for the story, instead of him shoehorning him in there just to do it, fine. But I want it to make sense and not be like a cheap cameo.
I agree. I agree. My thoughts, honestly, so I know they ended up hiring that YouTuber who did the deep fake version of Mark Hamill, and that's why they hired him, and that's why Book of Boba Fett, Luke Skywalker looked dope, and it looked really, really good. So I think if they go that route, I'm okay with it. Listen, we understand that Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker is Luke Skywalker. Like that's Mark Hamill, right? Indiana Jones is Harrison Ford. Like that's just what it is. You can't change them. We're gonna have to get used to the CGI. We're gonna have to get used to the deep fake. That's just what it is. If we want these stories to continue to get told, we can't be pissed. I mean, yeah, we could be upset in the sense of like how they could do a better job. I'm okay with that. But overall, I don't mind him being in the movie. I mean, this is my thought. Like, I know this has to be the ending. They have to finish the story, or do they? Maybe they don't. Maybe the Mandalorian season 4 continues that. But overall, if we're gonna see him, let him be in the movie. Yes, I'm okay with that. Or do you think Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker will be involved in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, or do you think all right, we already established that? Okay, so it's a possibility. Possibility. Season 4 of the Mandalorian. We did the movie part. What are your thoughts on season 4 of the Mandalorian and what it can do? Darth Hater and comment section.
Well, I think so the movie is going to be more. Honestly, I think the movie is going to be centered around Grogu and Mando, like their own thing. But I think season 4 is going to be like everybody's overarching story. Like Mando, it's going to be about what's happening on Mandalore. It's going to be about what's happening in the Republic, and then the outer reaches with like the Shadow Council. I feel like it's going to be more of a kind of general, status in like the galaxy versus the movie. I have a feeling might be just like their own set story, like they were on a mission or something. They were doing like a job.
Right. Yeah, season 4 of The Mandalorian, I did a video on it today. I personally think that Mando season 4, we talked about it a long time ago, actually, me and Darth Hater, but it ended up being that a while back there was some article that talked about how the direction of the Mandalorian, they wanted to switch it and kind of shift it where it starts talking about just Mandalorians overall, or just the story of Mandalore, which I think that's kind of like what we're seeing now. And that might be the shift where they might utilize it in like Bo-Katan, the armorer, might be the lead of that show, where like they start reestablishing Mandalore. We see the Mandalorians like story kind of dive a little deeper into it. That's what I'm thinking. It could be because like that's the other thing too. Like Mandalore, we see the reestablishment of that planet happening now. How does that connect to the sequels? You know what I'm saying? Like it has to all correlate, because if they're reestablishing that planet, you have a character like Bo-Katan. Like, how is she not involved with the Republic and everything? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying is like they have to make all of this make sense at a certain point, because how far are we? I wanted to ask you, how far are we from the First Order?
From it, or
yeah, from now, I would say like
I'd say like a good 14 years or so, because right now with the current state of Mando, Book of Boba, and Ahsoka, like originally were 5 years. Now they said 2, so it's probably like 7 or 8 years.
Right. So you have
after Return of the Jedi, so it's a good way. We're pretty deep into it right now.
Right. So we're getting close to it. And this is my point, is like you never heard any whispers of Thrawn. You know what I'm saying? Like Thrawn being such a big character. And like this is what I mean.
Because it's 30 years, right? It's 30 years, right? Yeah. Because right now, Return of the Jedi to Force Awakens is 30 years, and then before it's 20. For Return to Jedi, for A New Hope and Revenge of the Sith. So okay, so yeah, we're 8 years in, I'd say. It's a good amount of time. Right. So I don't know, a few years. I'd say a few more years, because honestly, we saw like the what are they? What's the name of the troopers that?
Oh, the Death Troopers.
The troopers that? No, the troopers that Snoke had.
The Praetorian, no, not the Praetorian
The
Guard.
Praetorian Guards. Yeah, we saw that in Mando. That was the earliest version of them.
Right. So like you figured Snoke has to be somewhere developing, right? Well, no, he actually in the comics, this is what I mean. Is like we keep diving more into the lore. The Ben Solo comics confirm that Kylo met Snoke before everything. So like that means we already know that, like the whole story with Ben Solo burning down or taking down Luke Skywalker's academy is gonna go down. So like that's what I mean. It's like they're kind of like shooting themselves in the foot a little bit. I still feel like because there's so much. Yeah, because bro,
the Kylo Luke thing doesn't happen until like later on. Like that's Kylo's like a teen or in his 20s. Like we have a good ways for that.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, but like, oh man,
it's 30 years. You have to remember that's a good long time.
Yeah, but my thing is this, bro, is that like the other thing I was thinking about now is also too like the whole thing like bro, the Night Sisters, bro, we're going back to Dathomir. Like that's even another one. Like I'm sorry, I'm just thinking of everything that we're getting now. How does that like? Where is that in the sequel trilogy? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, man, there's just so much, bro. I feel like they're giving us so much. I don't know. That's just
you have to think about the fact the galaxy is huge. There's a lot of planets. There's a lot of stuff happening in different systems, so not everything has to connect with the sequel trilogy.
No, it doesn't have to connect. And I get it's a big galaxy, but come on, bro. Like, well, put it to you like this, right? Didn't we see the Ghost Cruise ship in freaking Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah.
So if they knew about it, they should have been a part of all of this. Damn.
Well, you have to remember Lando like did his thing where he contacted all of his contacts and brought them in for that. And dude had contacts all over the galaxy, so he could have gotten them from anywhere.
Listen, bro. They need to get their ish together and fix it. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying.
I want my Star Wars cohesive, and I want it all to make sense.
I want it to make sense, and I want it now. I want it now. No, but I think, honestly, season 4 overall, I think it'll happen after the movie because they don't technically. Season 4 of The Mandalorian could just be a continuation of everything that's going on after. Because that's like they could utilize The Mandalorian for like a show that leads up to the rise of the First Order. Because like I'm pretty sure Thrawn has to do a little bit with the rise of First Order. Like I feel like he had the implementation, like he had like the like he's the founder of it all, and then like he probably dies, and they kind of keep that going after. That's what I'm saying. That's why I kind of feel like they need to. What happened?
Well, I mean, but what they established is that like Ray Sloan and like what they established is that Shadow Council and all that other stuff was really like the start of it. But Thrawn coming in was his own thing. Like it was like two sides connected from like like that part of the Empire. But I don't know. I think the Thrawn thing is like they're gonna make it big, but not like I don't know. I think it's gonna be its own separate thing. And then like the First Order just comes from like the Imperial Remnant. But I don't know. You also think about the fact that he's coming into the galaxy now. And he's about to meet the Imperial Remnant, aside from like him going to Dathomir, because they've been waiting for him too. So
that's my point. That is my point.
But I'm saying this is how they set it up, games and everything, and the shows. They're their own thing. That's Listen. And then on top of that, now you have Palpatine's little set too.
But that's what I mean is that everybody's alive. Like where is this all going on? Like that's why I think they need to focus on Mount Tannis all the more now. I mean, you don't think so? And I think that's why it's going to be a big deal in The Mandalorian. I mean, not the Mandalorian, in season 3 of The Bad.
Yeah. Well, we'll like I said, bro. Like we'll see. Like they're not dumb. Dave's not dumb. I know. Like they're doing this for a reason. All roads lead to where they do for a reason. At least now.
No, I get it. No, I mean, listen.
Does it make sense along the way? No. But you don't make moves like this and have an interconnected, universe for no reason.
Yeah, you're not wrong, bro. You're not wrong, guy. I don't know, man. You know what I think too? It's just like, you read the comics and stuff like that too. Like a lot of the comics that are I'm so mad because I think I was telling you, I went to go get the Thrawn comic. I got the Thrawn comic, the episode, the issue, the first issue, the Thrawn Alliances, where it's like it tells you the story of like Vader and him, how they met and or what they were doing together during a certain period of time.
Yep.
So I got it. I'm just mad I left it. I'm so mad I left it in my car. I wanted to show up, but I'll probably do like a breakdown on it and what my thoughts overall, because like when you do comic reviews too, they hit. So I'll definitely be doing that.
They do, and it's interesting. Like I have the arc, I have the book and the arc. It's interesting seeing how like Thrawn just like plugged like, remember when we used to during the Clone Wars back when you were Anakin?
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would be dope. That would be cool. Yeah. No, for sure.
That was another thing I was gonna tell you too. Like, like I just how we're talking about things being interconnected. So
Right.
at Galaxy's Edge at Batu, I don't know if they changed it. It's been a while since I've been, but they had Mando's helmet in Doc Ondar's like Den of Antiquities, like his actual helmet, and then his blaster.
Right.
And if he's going along around the sequel trilogy time or whatever, they have to explain why his armor is in that dude's like Den of Antiquities. Yeah, explain like, okay, what happened to Mando?
Oh, I didn't know that.
But it's gone now, or it was at some point in time.
Maybe he like got his armor back. I don't know, bro. Maybe Pedro Pascal came back and got his armor.
I don't know, but the thing is like, but my point in the matter is Batu and that whole story is supposed to be connected. So it's like you can't change a land that you built around something, just because it doesn't fit your narrative anymore.
Star Wars can do anything they want, bro. Just because Anakin and Thrawn met there doesn't mean jack-ish. Anything can change. Anything can happen, bro. It's freaking Disney. It's What If. It's everything in one. I mean, come on. You got Tim's Talks over here talking about Thrawn got one of the Night Sisters secretly pregnant, has a son that will appear in the Ray Bay movie. I mean, come on, bro. Like, anything is possible, bro.
This is a Ray Bay movie.
Yeah, anything is possible. Anything is possible, guy. Like at this point, man, like you can do anything in Star Wars, bro. Like it's their world and we just living in it. So
it's hard because it's like like it makes me miss George Lucas Star Wars, but at the same time, everything has to grow and change.
Yeah, but he's not happy about this, so we know that. We know George Lucas is not happy.
Yeah,
he can't stand everything that's going on. Stand it. But at the same time, homie sold it. So I mean, if there's anybody you got to be mad at him because he didn't.
Still has creative. Yeah, still has a good amount of creative input on things. Yet that people forget that.
Yes, Mr. Lucas, we will take everything you're saying into consideration. What you say, get this guy off the fucking premises right now. Somebody get him out. Get security. Get him out right now. Well, if it wasn't for Filoni, bro, he would probably be out, bro. They wouldn't even care what he has to say. Let's keep it a buck, bro. They probably would kick him out of the set quickly, bro. I'll put you.
I mean, he's on certain sets for a reason. He's not just
Which yeah, and which sets are those? Go ahead, tell me, please say it. Enlighten.
Mando.
Okay, who's behind Mando?
Notice every set he's ever been on. It's like something he cared about, or like, all right, this director and everything, like this story is gonna be what it is. Everything else that he didn't approve of, like sequel trilogy, like they either had to force him to be there, or he didn't go.
He didn't go. It was no, he didn't go.
But like I'm telling you, like just don't think that he doesn't have any say. He still has like the second biggest share in Disney. Aside from like Bill Gates' estate. So just don't think like he has no say in what's going on right now at all.
He has a say, Darth Vader. He has a say, but like, come on, bro. Like if his voice or opinion mattered that much, put it to you like this, bro. Okay, I'm gonna just say this. This is how much you said that he has a big say, right? And it matters, right? All right, I got you right here, right? This is what you said. You said this, so I'm gonna let you rock. All right, if that mattered much. Why in the meeting when homie pitched his sequel trilogy, they said, "Oh yeah, we'll definitely do something with Darth Maul, Darth Talon. That'll be episode what is it, 7, and we'll figure it out from there." What'd they do? Tell me what they did. What do we have now?
Yeah, they didn't use it because they wanted to change. They still use his story. Like I found out, like they actually technically still for Force Awakens for the most part, they still use a lot of his story beats, even with the somebody killing Han Solo, the son killing Han Solo. But the main difference is, like you said, Talon and Maul, which they didn't do. Everything else they picked from what he did. They didn't
And do you
completely just wipe it away.
And do you know why? And that's another one they shot themselves in the foot with. I will say that one. The thing with Maul, they should have never brought him back in the Clone Wars because they could have utilized him for the sequel trilogy, and then bringing him back and then killing him off in Rebels. That's where they went wrong because he has such a dope arc in Crimson Reign and him being the head honcho of that. And if they had just left him, and let's just say they resurrected him, right? Like they brought him back, or they show his story, in Solo and everything like that, right? That would have been cool. Like, you see him there, he's the head of Crimson Dawn or whatever, Crimson Reign, whichever the name they got. I know it's 2 different names. Like it would have been dope if he would have taken over that, and then that story continues into the sequel trilogy, which would have been the version that George Lucas wanted for 7, 8, 9. But Dave Filoni had other plans, and that's his protege. I'll leave it at that. It's protege. Yeah.
Well, like I said, like as much as people don't want to give like dude credit, he's still behind the scenes giving like Dave like the whatever.
Hey,
I ain't even gonna keep going with it.
Hey Dave. The
Rebels fight, they did Maul dirty. Of course they did Maul dirty.
Forget about that they did him dirty. The fact that they just brought him back, they did not need to bring him back. This would have been cool. He got resurrected by the Night Sisters, whatever. Let him do whatever. Like, just let him be behind the scenes. Y'all don't even have to give that many episodes, like 1 or 2, and that's it. They gave him such a big arc, and they just, to me, they destroyed his character. Like, fine, like, you wanted to bring him back. Because I like, think about it. Like, seeing Darth Maul, I know there's other stories out there, but like, seeing Darth Maul, in the Phantom Menace for the first time, 1999, like I was a kid and everything, like that was dope. And like, again, I don't know really that much about Star Wars at that time because again, I'm what 90, 93, like, I see the movie, whatever. I mean, I had seen the original trilogy, but you see a guy with double-bladed lightsabers, he's got horns on his head. I mean, like, bro, that was it for me. Like, that was it. And then then they dupe him, they make him like this kind of like, I mean, he was dope. I think he was cool how they did the whole thing with Ahsoka and everything like that, but I should have been like, I would have rather seen like Ahsoka, to be honest, bro. Like, see, like this is what I think they could have done. They could have saved Maul for like the sequels, and Asajj Ventress should have been like the Maul of that. Like, I don't know. I think it should have been different. Like, I could have seen Asajj Ventress taking the role of like Maul, like if they wanted to change the story up. I don't know, or maybe
she basically did. I mean, when you think about it, it's the same storyline aside from her not getting bisected by Obi-Wan. Other than that, it's the same kind of storyline.
It is, but I'm just saying in a sense of like, how he was, he had taken over, the dark saber and all that stuff. Like, that's what I mean. Like, she could have been that for them. You know what I'm saying? Of Death Watch and all that stuff. That could have been more her role. Save Maul, where you don't really tell his story too much. That way it's not oversaturated. And then bam, like. But again, that's just me, bro. That's just me with my, thing. Yeah. Crimson Dawn, no, they couldn't use it because Dave Filoni didn't have a say in Maul, because they were writing in the they didn't want Maul. Like that was that's what I'm saying. Like it was already done anyway. Like Rebels had came out.
On top of the fact, like I told you before, if you use George's characters, you have to pay George. So you have to make new characters. That's why they aren't really trying to use the characters he came up with. That's why there's more emphasis on Disney's characters.
I really do believe though, like a character like Darth Talon though, like would have been so dope to the story. Like, like you talk about like, all right, like, like I wasn't gonna get into it, but like, the whole thing of like, that's what did you hear the whole situation with, the director of the new Daisy Ridley movie and how she's created controversy because she's been talking about how like there needs to be more women in Star Wars. I know what are your thoughts about that? Because like I want to get into Dark Talon for a second, but like, what are your thoughts about her talking about like that? Let me see
I
if I can
mean,
pull it up.
like I said, personally, it's been like honestly, it's been so much drama like going on in the fandom lately. I've just kind of just checked out of that aspect. I hear and see it, but at the same time, it's like I'm not even trying to go down that whole rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, and I understand that. Like, I get it, bro, and I respect that because I think at the end of the day is like I think we all need to remember that like this is a fandom that we love. Like, it
Yeah.
shouldn't be about a certain gender. Like, it shouldn't be about gender. It shouldn't be about race. It shouldn't be about anything. Like, if I'm gonna keep it a buck, like we're both minorities. Like, I'm Spanish. Like, I'm Latino. You know, like, but that has nothing to do with what we like. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just is
Yeah.
what it is. We come together, we talk about it because we just two homies that like Star Wars. Like that's what it is, and that's what it should be about. It shouldn't be because I'm this and it needs to be this way and it needs to be more women. Like, bro, like you're gonna come, and that's what I mean. It's like, like I guess I'll say, it's like, you coming out here, you're hiring people, and it's like I get it. There's comments that she said years ago about men and all this stuff, but then you come out like on the CNN interview and you're talking about how like yeah, women need to shape up Star Wars. It's like, bro, you've had Carrie Fisher's Leia, you've had Natalie Portman's fucking freaking Padme, and Natalie Portman has been such a big like influence on so many young girls. So many, I mean, beautiful woman. I mean, I love Natalie Portman. I think that's what made me fall in love with her is seeing her in Star Wars. I mean, come on, and and let's not forget the biggest one right now is Ahsoka. Rosario Dawson, Ashley Eckstein and Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka, who's alive. You know what I'm saying? Who's a character that everybody wants to be, everybody loves. She is no Jedi, whatever. That's my point. So it's like you can't see here. I mean, Kathleen Kennedy, strong, independent woman. Like, talk about that.
Mhm.
You have characters. My thing is, Daisy Ridley, right? Even it's funny because I give it to her. She did a really good job. The other day, they were doing an interview. I think it was Variety or somebody, and they were telling. They kind of threw the question at her, like, "What are your thoughts on like, Charmine Obaid, whatever, the director?" And she kind of turned it around and she was just kind of like, yeah, well, it's not about that. It's not about this. I don't remember exactly what she said word for word, but she kind of deflected it, which is good. It's good PR. It's good, you as an actor, you know how that is. You get questions. Sometimes, it's a little awkward, but you gotta like learn how to shift it. So I give it to her. She did that. Like she could have fed into the stupidity, but she didn't. So I give Daisy really that credit. But overall, I think Star Wars is fine. I think I think they just need to focus on going back to the basics. Follow what
Mhm.
Star Wars OGs did. Like it's a space opera. Like that's what it is, man. And going back to Dark Talon, I think like if they incorporated her, she'd be a dope freaking. She'd be like if she's the new villain for Star Wars. I think Chris Thorber, if you're still here, I think you had said who's going to be the new big bad, right? I think she could be a really good big bad, to be honest with you. If that were the case, I mean, who would you want to see from everything that we do have, the content wise? I think Darth Crate you had mentioned to me one time.
Yeah, honestly, that's kind of low key. Kind of that's why I want to see like things go eventually with the whole Cade Skywalker Darth Crate. I mean, they could easily set up Darth Crate and it would make sense.
Right.
Like for years later or whatever. But Darth Talon would be cool. That was her as a princess. Well, not really as a princess. What else could they do? Obviously, I don't know. I want them to do something new too, but at the same time, bring some of the familiar. So if they make a whole new character up and everything, like that's what they should be doing. Like stop picking from like these older kind of established characters. I want to see them do something new.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
Like, come on, Moff Gideon was a brand new character that wasn't from anything, and look how he turned out. Well, up until the end.
Yeah, they massacred my boy. They got to bring back Darksaber in the Mando and Grogu movie. I don't think they do. I think the new what they're going to explore more is the Mythosaur. I think that's really what they want to really explore. That's more what because that kind of has more legacy. I would say has more of like that's more of what Mandalore, because Mandalore they're great, right? Road the Mythosaur, and I think that's what they want to explore.
Like the Mythosaur goes all the way back to the 80s and the Empire Strikes Back. That whole thing of Boba Fett, like that means way more than the Darksaber. The Darksaber is fairly
It's
new like
cool.
lore. Like that's Clone Wars stuff. You know,
Yeah.
the mythosaur is established. Like that's a big thing that needs to be established on, expanded upon like a lot more, like you said.
Yeah, I think that's something they want. They probably want to go that route. I think that's why they did away with it. You know, I mean, it sucks because again, the dark saber was dope, but I just think that that's the route they wanted to go.
Mhm.
I guess Disney really didn't want to pay royalties to Lucas or any other writer who penned new successful characters before their purchase of Lucasfilm Company. Plus, Kathleen Kennedy had an agenda. She did. She did. She
She
definitely did.
did, and like I said, you know, he has the second biggest like stock in Disney, but at the same time, like they
Say
want to
that.
do away from having to pay George. They have to pay George every time you see Vader pop on the screen, Boba, anybody, they have to pay
He's
him.
getting a
Like,
paycheck.
yeah, they have to pay him more because those are that's his characters, his IP technically. So that's why they're trying to do like more characters. They're trying to put more of an emphasis on doing more with Ray, more with all these like, you know, things that they started Ray, Mando, other characters. So in a sense, it's good because we get new characters, new content, new everything, and they're not reusing everything. But at the
Mhm.
same time, you know, like in certain times, like Andor, is all their characters, but at the same time, we didn't see anybody from like any original trilogy thing that we know because you'd have to pay him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, you're not wrong.
And that's a time when everybody's alive doing whatever, you know, and we still don't see them. It's all Andor.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know. And we'll talk about Andor at a different time. I know that was one of the comments mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
but we'll talk about Andor at a different time because we have time for that one anyway. That one got pushed to 2025 anyway, so I'm not even worried about Andor. I mean, not that I was worried about it anyway, because to be honest with you, it was a show that I really did not enjoy. I think from a story aspect, a writing aspect, phenomenal, but we'll talk about that at a different time. We'll talk about that at a different time. I believe the dark saber will be recreated. The special kyber crystal still exists in a new hilt, while Din may tame and ride the mythosaur. Yeah, I mean, I just don't see them going that route yet. I don't know. I can't see them going the route of trying to because I don't know. I just don't. I mean, I think
I mean, the saber's destroyed. They still could use the crystal to make something for Grogu or whatever.
they could. I mean, it could be, but then at that point, I think because that's one of the things is like that's a whole other topic. I'm not even gonna get into that right now. I'm not gonna even
So
say
a
it right now.
whole other rabbit hole of
That
like,
is a whole other rabbit hole. I think for the last topic will be we'll talk about is the Acolyte. The Acolyte, the skeleton crew. What are your thoughts on that? We know we're getting it sometime this year. I'll ask you. I mean, I kind of had heard whispers of when it's coming out. I had heard the Acolyte is coming out at the end of the year. Skeleton Crew most probably sometime. I think after the Bad Batch, you're talking about Tales of the Jedi season 2, if I'm not mistaken. That or Skeleton
yeah.
Crew. Yeah. So I mean, what are your thoughts on just the live action shows? Which is the first one that you want to see first? If you have to, like, which one do you want to start off and do you want to end with? I'll ask you.
I'll be real. Like I still am super excited to see the Acolyte because it's before prequel era. It's Jedi, it's Sith, it's like the Republic. I guess the end of the High Order or whatever. But at the same time, I hear so many like production issues with that show. It makes me be like, I hope like you know this show's gonna be okay now. Like I keep hearing like a lot of bad things like production wise that are just like, okay, I don't know. The show is either or right now. But I'm still
And
excited for just for what it is.
you're talking about the Acolyte, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for it, dude. I mean, I'm honestly I'm hyped for it. It's the first Sith-based show. They're talking about like a hologram version of Darth Revan. Who wouldn't want to see some Old Republic stuff? I mean, damn, bro, I've been waiting for ish like this for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, overall, I'm hyped, bro. I'm hype about it. Yeah, I think I just want more like I want them to release a trailer. I know they released an Acolyte trailer at Star Wars Celebration, but I think it's time they release it now. Like put it out. Like let us be able to see it. Let us talk about it. Let us get hyped about it. Even the Skeleton Crew, like bring it out. Let us talk about it. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I want to see these shows at least get put out. For at least like a trailer. As a content creator, like we want to get hyped. Like we don't have anything. This like this year is really just after Bad Batch. It's Tales of the Jedi, Skeleton Crew, and Acolyte. Like we have 3 shows. We haven't had a movie, so it's like give us something.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can't oversaturate too.
It's not an oversaturation if it's just a trailer. It's just like give a snippet, bro.
Well, I'm saying they don't want to oversaturate because they have a lot of things going on. You got to spread all the stuff out, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I get you. We're not getting that much, but at the same time, we're so spoiled as Star Wars fans because think about this. Back in the day, we didn't have shows that could wait years in between movies and everything, and now we're getting so much so that it's like, all right, we complain when we're getting too much, and then we complain when we're not getting enough.
I think the one that makes me, I think that's the one that's made me laugh is like when I hear people say like, oh my God, it's a burnout. It's too much Star Wars. I'm like, what? Yo, I'm like, I wish. Because I didn't even like, I didn't even watch the Clone Wars because I was too old for it already. I didn't watch like the Clone Wars till like I was older and I had more time on my hands. Like, so it's like now with all these shows, I want to watch them. Like, I want more. Like, to me, there is no over. Listen, if Marvel could have like 1,000 TV shows, I want 1,000 TV shows. Hell no, man. Screw that. Hell no.
I don't know
like,
because look at it right now, how we're all feeling. Like, I was and still am a huge Marvel fan, but Endgame and Spider-Man, like the last one was like that. So far, I'd say at Marvel's peak. And with these TV shows, like I slowly started falling off to where I haven't even watched Echo, and I didn't watch Loki, and I think and Captain Marvel, the second one, because I've been so burnt down on these TV shows, and it's been an oversaturation of stuff that has been lackluster for me, or I don't care about. To where I'm just like, if I need to watch it for whatever reason, then I'll watch it. Right now, I just don't.
I'm so mad.
I don't want to feel like that with Star Wars,
I went to see freaking Captain Marvel, bro. I had the worst experience. I went with a homie of mine, and bro, I didn't get my cheek. I don't know if he's watching now, but like, cause I know sometimes he be watching. David, if you're watching this, please comment. You were with me. Yo, me and my homie went to go see Captain Marvel, and bro, they didn't give me my cheeseburger until halfway through the movie, bro. I was so tight. I'm like, yo, this is why this movie's so bad. I'm like, even the service sucks, and it has nothing to do with the movie. Like, damn.
Yeah, but bro, my point is, we're so like oversaturated and like done.
This is true.
Marvel. Like Star Wars could be on that plane and everything if they keep putting out so much stuff that's like, okay, we didn't like it. That was okay, but we didn't like it. It's a fine line.
So like, I agree with this comment right here. I agree with it. Because look, some of the shows were bad. I'm not going to lie to you. But like, I ain't going to front. I'm going to keep it a buck. Like, this is my opinion. I'll take Kenobi over Boba Fett any day. Like, that's just me. Like, I know not everybody.
Given.
Like, I know some people really didn't enjoy the Kenobi series, but like, listen, man, it was a show that like we got to finally get Ewan McGregor back as Kenobi. We got to get Hayden Christensen back. We got to see Darth Vader. Listen, for what it was, it is what it is. Like, I'm okay. Like, I'm not gonna lose sleep over
it. We got
Obi-Wan,
Anakin, Vader, Leia, and Luke, and Baru and everybody, all the key main players in Star Wars on like the screen for a TV show. Was it great? No. Was it decent for what it was? Yeah. Like yeah. But my standpoint is like not everything's gonna be great, but not everything's gonna be bad or whatever. Like sometimes you just kind of have to find the good things in like these shows. Like it was cool to see Boba, but at the same time, not at the same time.
Nah, that story was bad though. That was more Fennec. That was that should have been her show more than
Breaking Bad.
Like, I agree with this comment. Like, to be honest, like I think the one thing that I think the biggest thing that the Kenobi series ruined for me is the fight between Vader and Obi-Wan. Like, it takes away from going from Revenge of the Sith, which is a George Lucas established, like that's his movie, to then like, you're going to now like fast forward of A New Hope. You have Alec Guinness as Kenobi, and then you have Darth Vader. Like, you're ruining that, and that, like, because you want it to be like, what is it? That was a 20-year gap. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was like, that's what made it make sense. And then you have that fight happen, which the fight was garbage. I mean, let's be real. It was like the scene, like, my God, bro. Like, just overall, the fact that they used that panoramic screen, like, that was terrible. Like, that's number one. Like, I mean, there was so much that was bad about that fight, but yeah, I get it.
It's just it worked for me in parts, and then it just didn't at other parts, and it just I don't know. But at the end of the day, for what it was, I liked it. Did I love it? No, but I liked it.
I mean, I would go back and watch it over freaking Boba Fett and freaking Andor. I'll say it. I don't care. I'll keep it a bug. I'll watch that over Andor any day. I don't care. I know some of y'all love Andor, and that's fine. Listen, I respect y'all. I do. I really, really do. But like, oh, why am I getting a call now? Like, I hate when I get a call when I'm on a live stream. Like, y'all gotta understand. Respect my time.
You need that. No, but you need that light above your door that says like on air or whatever. You can just click.
I know. Oh my God! Why is my friend still calling
me?
You
better tell him you on air. You ain't got time.
I know. Toker says I haven't and won't rewatch either. Okay, so all right. I mean, look, Andor was great though. I thought Andor, like I said, the storyline. Look, I'll tell you the two things that I enjoyed. Or I'll say this is what I enjoyed. I enjoyed the storyline. I enjoyed the fact that they actually used sets. They didn't use that panoramic screen. So I enjoyed that. I respect that. I honestly, the show made me more, honestly, I was more intrigued about the character of Luthen. I think I was more intrigued about everything else other than Andor. That's what I.
The show was really everybody else, but him was interesting. Everybody else.
Yeah, that was more what like made the show more interesting for me. Like, I didn't even care about casting, and this is what I mean. Oh my gosh. Overall, oh my God, remind me in an hour. Like, I don't know why I'm getting phone calls. My thing is that when it comes to Andor, right? So we're gonna talk about this for a second. People talk about an oversaturation. People talk about what we need, what we don't need, right? A character like Cassian Andor, we did not need a show on. It wasn't a necessity. I understand it's cool because we see what happens behind the scenes, but that's what you have the books for, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you have the comic books for, ladies and gentlemen. You don't need every character that is like so cool in a show. Like, for example, like Ice Cube's son. I don't need to see a show on his character because he's dope and he's cool. I don't need a show like that. I love seeing the building of the rebellion. It's cool. I'm not gonna look. Listen, this was cool, but did we need it to be his series? That's my point. No, we didn't. They could have had just a show like The Mandalorian that just talks about Mandalorians. Oh my God, I don't know who's calling me. I really.
I mean, like, imagine if it was like Jyn Erso. Everybody loved Jyn over like Cassian in the show, and I feel like her character is more interesting. But at the same time, like you said, this is the building of the rebellion, and she doesn't have anything really to do with that aside from fighting with what's his name, Forrest Whitaker's character before he dumps it.
Saw Gerrera.
Yeah, Saw Gerrera. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, I hope and I think they're gonna have like a payoff for whatever happens with them in the second season, but you don't just make a show like that, a big show like that, and just have nothing, impactful happen. Or like I said, my kind of not gripe, but just thing I thought was like, it's that certain time period you don't have or really mention like these main players. Like, where's Palpatine? Where's Vader? Where's this? Where's Obi-Wan? But you don't need to. But at the same time, like, there's pretty big things that are happening in the galaxy that you just would want to see, and I feel like we're not getting that with Andor. It's a great show, but it just doesn't feel Star Wars to me, which I'm not saying throw Star Wars stuff in there like a lot, but
Right.
its vibe isn't really Star Wars to me.
No, I look, everybody's Star Wars is different. So I hear you, Darth Vader. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh, like there is no right or wrong answer. I will say this. Look, y'all know me who watch my content. Y'all know Darth Vader. We always keep it in the middle. Like we keep it very respectful. Whatever you guys like, that's y'all. But overall, like, you know, I think to me, one of the things that I always take away from Bob Iger when he had that interview and he talks about how like Star Wars has an oversaturation, Marvel. If I've noticed, what Marvel, like I'll talk about Marvel, right? Is that you're talking about oversaturation because you're talking about characters, you're talking about side characters, you're talking about B or C lister, not even B. Some of them are C characters you don't need, and that's what I mean about Cassian Andor. Like you didn't need, like that's a C character. That's not a B character. That's a C character, bro. Like that's not a show that needed to be told, or at least it needed to be his show. It could have been, like you said, Jenna Erso, her story because of her background, her lineage. That would have made more sense. Like a prequel for her and her father and everything that went on before. That would have made sense. How it led up into where it was in the movie. That makes sense. But Cassian Andor, I don't need a show to tell me or that he went to jail for not just 6 months, 6 years. Like I didn't need none of that. Like to me, it was irrelevant. Like I don't need to learn.
Yeah.
Like I said,
it just needed to be sped up. They just needed to show him in the rebellion quicker, and I
Donnie
think
Nickel.
that would have made more people just, okay, now I care now. But
Yeah.
I like the show for what it was. It's just I don't think we needed 2 seasons to get him to, be in the rebellion.
Yeah, no, I agree. Oh my god.
Of course, that hallway scene says, "Dude, that hallway scene though is fire."
Which hallway scene? I'm confused. Which one are we talking about?
I don't know if he's talking about Rogue One or a hallway scene.
Oh, Rogue One is top notch, man. Top notch. Dude, all they needed to do is just change the show's name from Andor to Rebels or Scott. That would have been dope. That would have been dope. Yes, I agree. I think if it was just like a Rebels show, that would have been dope. I would have been okay with that. Rogue One, yes.
Oh yeah, that scene in Rogue One is just, and it's funny when you go back and read the original scripts of what they were gonna do, and I'm like, wow, that really was a last minute thing. That thank God they put that in there.
Yeah, I told her I think they couldn't do Rebels because like they already. I mean, if the show is just called Rebels, but then Star Wars is
it still would be
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I think or
dude, all they needed was just to change the name to Star Wars Rebels. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I that would have hit a lot better, but overall, it was good to be back. We finally did it. We're back in 2024.
We're back.
We will continue to stream on
2024.
I don't know.
We're on that Mamba mentality. It's the year 24. We're on that Kobe year.
Mamba mentality, baby. Kobe. Oh. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for hopping on. Thank you guys so much. Yeah. Please go check out Darth Vader and his channel. Do you have anything coming up? I don't know if you do or.
I'm honestly, aside from posting videos and everything, I'm taking it easy until like February. Like cosplay events aside, January is just my chill month until next. But yeah, definitely check out my page. Like we'll be talking about news, and I'm gonna be doing some unboxings fairly soon. So stay tuned for that.
Yes, please go check out the homie Darth Vader 23 on not just YouTube, Instagram, and all other platforms. Please go follow, subscribe. Homie does a great job of everything. So please go check out his channel, guys. Again, thank y'all so much for hopping on. We really appreciate the comments. I want to give a shout out to everybody in the comment section. Y'all were amazing. Chris Schober, I'm saying it right. Rebel Intelligence, if you're still here. Anthony, YouTube fan, you are always a real one in the comment section on my content. Star Wars Architect, thank you for hopping on. Toker 33, you are a real one. Holmes Talks, thank you so much for hopping on. I really do appreciate you. Again, thank you so much. Many blessings, guys. Catch us next week, same time, same channel. And we will have more Star Wars news on next week's episode. Horns up. Make sure you subscribe. Yes. Be easy, ladies and gentlemen.